Well, good morning, everyone. Spring football fans, UFL fans. Well, just about 6 weeks removed from the championship game and the Defenders celebration on July 12th, which turned out to be pretty good. They did a pretty good job of the celebration in D.C. Of course, D.C.'s first football championship since the Redskins won. I think back there was 1991 they won last. But my Defenders are champs. I am real happy. Funny, I've been putting off doing this video about changes that could be coming for the UFL in 2026, and boom, get home last night and I read all the articles. Of course, UFL News Hub is reporting it. The league hasn't reported anything yet, but they are saying 4 teams, the entire UFL conference, is relocating. Now, right now, the league, the UFL itself, hasn't said anything official. I mean, even Coach Skip Holtz came out last night and says nothing is true, but we'll see. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I did a report during the year how the UFL was leasing new offices and everything, but now, after the season, not only did you have that one round of layoffs, but you had 2 rounds of layoffs. Now the league is saying that these are seasonal employees, which I could really see because we're not there yet where people need to be employed all year. But as we're seeing from the articles, they're saying that the Houston Roughnecks, the Memphis Showboats, the Birmingham Stallions, and the Michigan Panthers are all relocating for the year 2026. Again, the league has said nothing so far. So we have to wait and see on this. But the league did file trademark applications. At least a report of it was that the Oakland Raiders, the Philadelphia Stars, New Jersey Generals, and the Tampa Bay Bandits were applied. Now, the new 4 reported cities is Louisville or Lexington, Kentucky, Orlando, Florida, or Tampa, Columbus, Ohio, and one I didn't see coming at all, didn't really consider, Boise, Idaho. How about that? Now, I did say there were going to be significant changes to the league next year. There had to be, because attendance and ratings were down for year 2 of the new merged league, and boom, here we are. Assuming these are true. Again, we have not heard anything from the league yet. And yeah, I wondered who leaked the stuff out. Was it a disgruntled employee who was let go? We did have 2 rounds of layoffs. But we're also hearing that the conference names are going to be discarded also. No more USFL conference, no more XFL conference. I am not sure how I feel about that, but considering the entire USFL conference reportedly right now is being relocated, it may make sense to do it. I don't know. As a proponent of the 2 previous leagues, the USFL and XFL, I don't like this whatsoever, but we have to wait and see. Now, Houston does not surprise me. I mean, with the merger of the league, I've said this many times, the merger of the league, everyone knows this, the league destroyed Houston. They took the Houston Gamblers and they gave them a new name called the Houston Roughnecks, and the identity was destroyed. playing a year over at Rice Stadium, the new uniforms away from 2020. Get rid of June Jones for this boring looking team was a bad idea. And they never regained what they had in 2020, which was a fun, exciting team and a nice diehard fan base. Memphis was just unfortunately bad city. They do have a small diehard fan base, but until they get done doing changes to the Liberty Bowl, and let's face it, being in Memphis that time of year when they were playing, it was brutal to watch a game. Same thing with Houston. Now the two disappointing ones, Birmingham, because they won 3 championship games. They won 3 championships in a row. They were in the conference championship again this year. So to see them, I said this was going to be a bad look for the team if they did this. A bad look for the league if they did this. But for all the people that said that attendance does not matter, I don't know where you were getting this from. This is math 101. This is business 101. And it was a topic all year in the league. But again, Birmingham had the same problem as Houston and Memphis. You're playing in an open-air stadium. There is no shade from the sun. You have a terrible problem with rainstorms. And the attendance just wasn't there for a team that had been to the championship 3 straight times and this close away from a 4th appearance. That will be hard. That would be hard for one for me to take. Same thing with Michigan, because Michigan had a significant increase in attendance this year. In fact, they were the only team that had a significant increase in attendance, and I believe their TV rating market also went up. With the success of Jake Bates and the good team Mike Nolan put out there and the championship appearance, this is also very disappointing. Now, where are these teams landing? If these teams are scheduled to move to the cities that are reported, would the Stallions keep their uniforms and name and go to Lexington, Kentucky, where, let's face it, it's a big horse town. You got the Kentucky Derby there. Or could they move to Boise, Idaho, where you have the Broncos and they already have the horse logo? Do they bring back Danny Garcia's Orlando Guardians? Or is a rumor about Tom Brady owning the Tampa Bay Bandits true? We don't know. Columbus, Ohio, they have a MLS stadium that holds about 20,000. That makes sense. I could easily see them putting the Michigan Panthers there. I think any success, it would almost fill that stadium of 20,000. So this is where we are right now. Nothing from the league. Many people are reporting this. And I said there were going to be major changes to the league for next year. There had to be, because let's face it, it wasn't working out. But let's talk other changes that the league needs to make. We've said it. All the fans said it. Starting the season at the end of March was a horrible, horrible idea. And of the 4 teams that are moving, they all get pretty intense warm weather early in the year compared to where I live here up in the Northeast. Everyone knows Houston is brutal. Well, let's face it, Houston has 2 seasons. Brutally hot and a dash of fall. It's brutal to watch a game, man. Sandy in Memphis. Sandy in Birmingham. The only one where you have to worry about was Michigan, but they played in the dome, Ford Field. The problem with Ford Field was it was expensive to play in. And that was the reason why they didn't host the UFL Championship game there, because it was too expensive. It's a shame because the Panthers did very well the 2 years there, and there was significant improvement. And we also see there's going to be a renaming of the Renegades from Arlington to the Texas Renegades. Which, to be honest with you, I really have no problem with that one. Because the Texas Rangers play right there next door. I know they were originally called the Dallas Renegades, and people had a problem with that because, let's face it, they play in Arlington, not Dallas. I get it. Arlington's not a big name when it comes to sports, so I get that. So I think changing the name to the Texas Renegades is a good idea. Now, they did bring back the old logo last year for the helmets. I would like for them to bring back the old 2020 uniforms if they do this. It's just my opinion. What will they do? Who knows? But getting back to the starting time, if they start at the end of March again, don't. That's not a good idea. The only 3 places last year that were not affected by the weather was St. Louis because they play in a dome, Detroit, the Michigan Panthers because they play in a dome, then San Antonio Brahmas because they play in a dome, and DC because the weather is mild that time of year up there. So if they want attendance and ratings to go up, they have to start after the Super Bowl. I've been saying this. A lot of us have been saying this. We've been saying this for a long time. Start after the Super Bowl. And in fact, I would make a very bold move. I've been saying this the whole time. I would start the week between the conference championship games in the NFL and the Super Bowl. What's the one week every football fan hates? That week where there's no football between the conference and the Super Bowl. You make a strong advertisement during the AFC and NFC Championship games saying, hey, football will not be taken off next week. We have the kickoff of the UFL. Now, if they want to do their Friday night game thing and have a game on Saturday and 2 on Sunday, or vice versa, okay, fine. That would be the time to do it, because let's face it, unless you are a diehard college basketball, NBA, NHL fan, people are going to be football starved, and they don't like that week. I don't. I never did. And I don't watch the hype of the Super Bowl week unless my team's in it, the Giants, because who needs 2 weeks of babble about one game? You don't. So the UFL would be smart to do that week, and even play during Super Bowl week. Have a game on Friday night, do a triple header on Saturday, and do an early game on Sunday. And then week 3, when it should be about maybe the last week of February, go back to what you're doing, or whatever you plan to do. But do not start at the end of March again. Don't even start at the beginning of March. It has to be at the end of the NFL season. Because to give people a 6-week break from Super Bowl and then go into March Madness and try to compete with the end season of the NBA and the NHL before the playoff starts, it's going to hard to build momentum. Now, we did have a breakthrough at ratings. One was after the Kentucky Derby, where we drew over 1 million. And there was another time we drew over 1 million after another big game. But how many times did we see our games get delayed starting because of an NBA game? In fact, should I remind you about the way we missed the Renegades and DC Defenders to see the start of the Game 7 pregame for the NBA? That was frustrating for a lot of people like me, especially my team was in it, and a lot of football fans. They need to start early. They need to build that momentum from that point in February, where sports is very, very dead, and they can own the weekends. Now, if they want to have a game on Friday night, I don't care. If they want to do everything on Saturday and Sunday, that's fine with me. But you have to take over and own the month of February. Now, for all the people who worry about the NBA and NHL All-Star game, no one cares about All-Star games. Even the NFL does flag football now because no one watches the game. It's become more of a skills competition. And I don't even watch that. That's just my personal opinion. I've never been a fan of All-Star games in any sport. Although I'm going to say the NHL did a hell of a job this year with the 4 national team tournament. That was fun and exciting. I did watch that. But I don't watch the baseball All-Star game. I don't watch the home run derby. I don't watch the slam dunk contest. It's never been interesting to me. That's just me. And with relocation being said, it's safe to say we're probably not going to see expansion. Now, I'm hoping where the rumor isn't true is that maybe we only have 2 teams relocate, Houston and Memphis, and the other 2 cities are expansion. That's what I'm hoping for. Am I holding my breath right now based on what happened last year and the ratings drop? No, I'm not. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I would love to see expansion. I knew relocation was coming. It had to. And for all those people who deny about attendance, let this be a lesson to you that business, math, and math itself doesn't change. All right, everyone. Let me know what you think. So it looks like the only, right now, as being reported, the only 2 teams that are going to be left from any of the 2 original leagues are the St. Louis Battlehawks and my defending champions, the DC Defenders. If the league is going to survive, I said it, major changes are going to have to happen. We'll see what the league says. I'm sure we're going to hear something real soon because if they drag this out like they do with everything else, it's going to piss off a lot more fans. All right, for the love of football, we'll talk to you later.